Good evening, my name's Edward King Thompson, and welcome to another video. Recently, I've dipped my toes back into the bottomless rabbit hole of the UAP phenomenon. In 2025, the subject appears to be continuing to gather momentum, shifting further into mainstream media and becoming more normalised within the public consciousness. Yet, as with nearly all paranormal phenomenon, the metaphorical train never seems to arrive in the station. The grand reveal of a nearly century-long cover-up, the three-letter government agencies finally admitting they have evidence which would shake society to its very core, it's always just over the horizon, 2 weeks away. The currently unreleased 2025 documentary, Age of Disclosure, claims to be an unprecedented film featuring 34 US government insiders that reveals an 80-year cover-up of the existence of non-human intelligent life and a secret war amongst major nations to reverse engineer technology of non-human origin. Indeed, there are no shortage of whistleblowers seemingly desperate to testify under oath about first and second-hand accounts with non-human technology and biologics. But the waters of this growing community of ex-military officers, reporters and physicists have been severely muddied by, to put it bluntly, greed. Unfortunately, in an age of late capitalism, becoming a whistleblower is a very effective moneymaker. Book deals, podcasts, drip-fed information locked behind Patreon paywalls, and an endless string of public appearances. These opportunities for profit have made it increasingly difficult to know who to trust, and that's before we've even brought up the subject of AI-generated content. But despite continued uncertainty, there is no doubt that the UAP subject is consistently moving into the attention sphere of a larger portion of the population, something which is important to consider when examining the landscape in which these videos are being released. In late 2024, a series of unexplained drone incursions were reported in New Jersey and the surrounding states, a situation which caused so much alarm that it was even directly addressed by President Donald Trump.
Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president.
As with previous videos on this topic, I don't wish to speculate further on the motives a government body may have to cover up evidence of unidentified craft, but rather to examine the information and evidence available to me. So, here are 4 more incredible UFO sightings for your careful consideration. The footage you just watched was captured by user Creepasta and appears to show clear footage of an orb hovering above the South Downs National Park on the 11th of February 2025. At first glance, this appears to be some of the clearest footage of an orb-shaped UAP that I've ever come across. However, context is always important. Creepasta made a post on the 29th of January saying that they wanted to capture 4K footage of a UFO with their high-quality camera equipment and would pay for someone to summon one while they recorded. After supposedly contacting a person capable of summoning the object, and delays which Creepasta explained was down to the bad weather, they uploaded the footage. Viewers were quick to point out that there was no footage of the object arriving or leaving, and that its movement showed none of the qualities which would suggest it was an unknown technology. Additionally, Redditors' requests to see the raw file were not met, with the OP simply sending a video of the footage playing on his Nikon P1000. Even more suspiciously, Creepasta didn't reply to many of the questions posed by the UFO community regarding details of the encounter. After uploading a few more photographs of the craft, the account went dark, although, bizarrely, the same user then commented on their own post with an alternative account. Despite capturing clear footage of an unidentified craft, with a video that does give me a very unsettling vibe, There are just too many suspicious details surrounding the origin of this footage for it to be credible. What do you think? This next clip was recorded by, it's difficult to say this with a straight face, Weeby Edgelord in Perth, Australia on the 15th of May 2025. It's quite a refreshing post, as it's not immediately obvious what the object is. It doesn't look like a plane or a drone, having no green and red navigation lights, or a satellite, or an insect. Of course, this doesn't mean it isn't a technology that's known to science. The very fact that it has flashing lights suggests it's not trying to remain hidden. There's also this interesting plasma-like trail emitting from the end of the object. However, some comments state that this is likely a camera artifact, the result of AI processing. Still though, this capture does leave me scratching my head. I'm not convinced that it's a drone, as some comments claim. It just appears to be too high up, and the lighting is very strange to say the least. The object even goes completely dark towards the end of the clip. Let me know what you make of it in the comments below. The following are a series of short videos captured by user Easily Amused EE on a flight between Chicago, Illinois and New York, New Jersey on the 16th of December 2024. What appear to be several glowing orbs are captured flying at a similar altitude to the airplane, around 30,000 feet. Strangely, all of these objects appear to be emitting the same warm yellow coloured light. In the dusk footage, it could be argued that this is some sort of reflection from the sun, but the glow continues to grow brighter in the nighttime shots. Admittedly, the resolution is too low in these clips to draw any conclusions. However, I'm fairly confident that they're not commercial airlines or hobbyist drones. For starters, the altitude is far too high for that of a publicly available drone. And secondly, the OP manages to capture an actual airplane with flashing green and red lights towards the end of the footage, proving that the resolution is not too low to capture flashing FAA regulation indicators. The elephant in the room here is that these videos were recorded during the height of the New Jersey drone scare. Could what we're seeing in this footage be an example of what countless others reported during that time period? Let me know your thoughts. The images on screen were emailed to Nathan from the Strange Mysteries YouTube channel from an anonymous individual who claims to have had clearance to something called the Legacy Program. According to this person, the reason they leaked the photos was as a test to gauge the general public's readiness to digest the high strangeness of the subject. Worth noting is the detail that this individual doesn't believe that most people are ready for meaningful disclosure, and they won't continue with their further planned leaks as a result of this. They point to one example in particular of the public's lack of readiness. Many people online jokingly compared the image of this object to a ceiling fan, an action which the leaker refers to as a disservice to the serious analysis required for the field. Let's be honest though, it really does look like a ceiling fan. I guess I'm not ready for disclosure either, but who is? There are pictures of UAPs captured from a variety of locations and time periods, which would appear to increase the plausibility that the images are genuine. I've seen many comments remarking how terrifying this spiky ball object is, and I've got to agree, it looks designed to intimidate. Also of intrigue to me are this cruciform entity and these crosses. Nathan from Strange Mysteries makes a suggestion that these particular objects could be something similar to what was described by witnesses of the Nuremberg celestial event in a newspaper article from the era. On the 15th of April 1561, townspeople in Nuremberg awoke to see hundreds of glowing shapes battling each other in the early morning skies. The shapes ranged from tubes to spheres, and of course, crosses. Eventually, the objects appeared to cease fighting, falling to earth in flames before burning up and releasing plumes of billowing smoke. The majority of contemporary scholars believe that the event can be explained by an atmospheric phenomenon known as a sundog or parhelia. This is a phenomenon where two additional lights appear at either side of the sun in an atmospheric halo, created by the interaction of sunlight with ice crystals in the atmosphere. Yet, this doesn't explain the description of the cross-shaped entities, nor the presence of a gigantic black spear, its point fixed to the west. This supposed leak is dripping out of an incredibly deep rabbit hole, one which may hold some truly earth-shattering secrets, or an incredibly elaborate hoax. While the former is certainly more unlikely, both possibilities are very strange, and doubtless contain more twists and turns than could be surmised in just one video. The full series is available on the Strange Mysteries channel, and I fully recommend watching all of them if this story intrigued you. Despite what the leaker implied in the email, they do continue their correspondence with Nathan, as well as sending him more mysterious images. As I mentioned in my last paranormal sightings video, it's about to get far more difficult to be able to identify paranormal footage that hasn't been tampered with, or increasingly generated by AI. That being said, the UAP community has never been so large or lively. There have never been so many government and military officials speaking openly about it, and it has never been as present in the media as it is now. Whether we're on the brink of the most incredible discovery humanity has ever known, or whether it's all just a bit of hot air, I like to think that even the most hardened skeptic could see the value in this continued discussion. The truth, whatever it may be, really is out there. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.